HSML 4500. This is Diversity and Social Justice and Human Services, and I'm excited to facilitate your learning for this 8-week course. My name is Professor Kiala Jacques, and I'm excited to say that this is my 11th year teaching this course. This is only the second time during a pandemic, so I know that we all are still managing our learning curves for the ways that learning is modified. But in my 11th year, this is the 11th time that I've had to teach this course in a hybrid format. So know that I'm not new to the space, and as we learn each other, hopefully you'll find that there's lots of support built into the course design, and I'm here to be a support to you. This is an asynchronous course, which means we don't have standing lectures, though I will host on Thursdays for 30 minutes, a content discussion. If you can join, great. If you can't, please feel free to email questions that you might have or watch the recording. Each of these sessions will just give us an opportunity to talk about the content that's available and answer any questions that you have about assignments. And then I will make that available to anyone who can't be present real time. The same for tonight. If you can't be present real time at any of the office hours where there's content discussed, know it'll be recorded and posted. And as I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can email them. You can send them via the course inbox. The Canvas inbox is probably the best way to get a quick response, or text is a great way to get a quick response. And I will gladly respond to your questions, both in that format in which you've sent it to me, but also as a part of the recording. Especially if I feel like students are asking similar questions and it would behoove the entire class to provide that answer. So again, welcome to the course. We're going to spend a little time walking through the way this Canvas course shell is set up, because each course is designed slightly differently. So hopefully you won't have any challenges navigating. I don't think that you will. And by this point, most of you have had at least one class 100% online, but I'm mindful that each instructor has the liberty to set up their course shell as they please. And so I want to let you know how this course shell is set up so that you can navigate it with ease. All right, I'm going to do a little screen sharing. So please hold while I fumble with technology. Excellent. So we're going to jump right into examining the course shell. When you arrive, you'll see a couple of things on the homepage where you can find access to all of the points of entry for this course. On the very far left, obviously, is the overall Canvas. This is a toolbar, and then inside is the course toolbar, right? So on the outside, you're going to find that your dashboard that has all of your courses. This specific course can be opened here with this book. The calendar allows you to see all assignments and activities for all of your courses, but obviously for this example, it will just be this course that's visible here. And that is an entry point to your assignments and activities for this course. Obviously you have your Canvas inbox, and then you have your recent history, which works like breadcrumbs so that you can identify how you arrived at a page and get back to it if you need to. It's saying access denied because I am attempting to present myself as student, and so it has limitations in the student form, but you should not have limitations when you engage with this far left toolbar. Now for the toolbar for this course, the first page is the home page. On the home page, you should see a logo and some activity buttons that take you as quick links to the syllabus, to the resource page, to the support page, and then give you an overview of the course. Just as a reminder, this is an 8-week course for spring 2022. At 8-week 1. So if you thought, because the registrar listed this course as 16 weeks and you thought this was a 16-week course and you would prefer a 16-week course, I completely understand. It's nice when we can move a little bit slower, but this course is 8 weeks. So I definitely want to give you that heads up so that you are very clear on the pace that we'll be moving at. Also on the home page, you'll find that you have the course stream, which just gives you anytime there are updates or announcements, those will be listed there in your screen. In your stream, you can view the course calendar, which looks very similar to the calendar that's on the far left side, but it only lists the contents for this course. And then notifications, you usually get notifications when there's a new announcement or if there has been a change to a course item or layout or additional documents or anything like that posted. And then you have your to-do list, which lets you know about all your upcoming due dates within the first week or within each week, but definitely these are for your first week. The second item on your toolbar inside of the course is the announcements page. On the announcements page, I will make regular posts about opportunities such as this to meet and remind you. I will also post recordings here. There are some things that are showing for weeks to come, so disregard those, but there will be regular communications with you about the course content to give you some resources and additional tips and help just share insights that I'm getting from reading your submissions. If there are things that I'm finding like, oh, a lot of people have challenges with APA, then I'll post an APA tool. Or if perhaps students don't know, I'm finding that students don't know about the writing lab, then I might post information about the UNT Dallas writing lab. I also refer students to the Purdue OWL writing lab because they have lots of great online resources. On our syllabus link, you will find a printable version of the syllabus. You'll also find that it's hyperlinked to a shortcut. So if you just want to view the syllabus really quickly, you click on that link and it will give you a quick view of the syllabus. If you choose that arrow, however, it will download the syllabus. So that page shows all of your assignments based on their due date. That's why that link is called the syllabus page, but it also provides to you quick access to a downloadable version of the syllabus. So here's your syllabus for this course. You definitely need to know how to access it because you'll need to engage with it in order to do a couple of things this first week. For example, there is at the very end of the syllabus a syllabus contract and a code of academic integrity contract. You'll need to sign those and submit them. Likewise, there will be a quiz this week around the contents of the Start Here menu, which I'll take you back to before this is over. So you definitely know how to navigate that and then the contents of your syllabus. So as I mentioned, this is an 8-week course. I'll just say it again for emphasis because I've had a couple people reach out earlier today. This is an 8-week course and we it's asynchronous, right? So we don't have a standing class lecture. The lectures are recorded. The course content information is already populated inside of your Canvas. You are responsible for walking yourself through all of that content and completing the assignments accordingly. I will, however, have every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. An opportunity for you to meet with me if you need to. You can set up an appointment and you and I can have meetings during my office hours. I will also on Thursday set up a 30-minute window where we can just talk through the content because it is self-led and personally paced, even though each week there are new assignments and will be new content available to you. I want to make sure that you have a space where you can ask content questions, right? Because the assumption is you're going through all the content material on your own and you're clear about it before you do your assignments. So Thursday night conversation allows you to just ask any clarifying questions before you have to start turning things in. And we'll talk about assignments in a minute. There is a required text for this course. It is the Race, Class, and Gender Reader, and Race, Class, Gender, Intersectionality, and Inequities Reader. It is an anthology, which means there's a number of short essays by various authors, though the editors are Anderson and Collins. And so we're using the 2019 edition. Just a heads up, you can access this text on Amazon. If you didn't buy the book already, you need access to the book, you can rent it on Amazon. I believe it's only $19 for a 5-month rental. And you can also purchase it on Amazon if there are no more via the UNT Dallas bookstore. So just a heads up, that option is available to you. There are some other texts that are like not required, right? Like anything that's additional to that textbook, I'm going to make available to you, whether it's additional PDFs or links to movies. There's a film review that is a part of this course and things like that. The other things that you need to know is there's not a prerequisite for this class, although it is my hope that you've already taken HSML 3000. It really kind of sets the tone for this conversation around the human service field and why diversity, equity, and inclusion and social justice are important for this field. So we're moving with that assumption towards these learning objectives and course outcomes. There are a number of evaluative models, so you'll find that the teaching material is made available to you via videos and PowerPoints and recorded lectures, but there's group activities in this course. You will do a paper. Actually, you'll have two, an intersectionality paper and a diversity submersion paper. And then there are a couple of quizzes and journal entries. So let's talk about those assignments. This week, you're responsible for submitting your syllabus contract, your code of academic integrity, and then completing the pre-quiz for this course. And then you have reading groups. So unfortunately, I listed the quiz twice, so I'll make that edit and change. There's only one quiz this week, but that quiz is over the content of the syllabus as well as the first week's like introductory materials, the start here menu, which again, I'll show you in just a moment. And then starting next week, you will have discussion boards that coincide with your reading. This week, the discussion board is just to make an introduction to the class. And then you'll see that I have put you into groups, and in your groups you'll conduct for reading. Because this is a fast class and there's a lot to cover, I'm splitting up the reading so that one group will read a certain number of things and you will decide who in your group reads that and writes a short summary. Another group reads another, and a third group reads another. This allows for you to get through all of the reading without having to read every single essay that's assigned for each section. And then you review what each group has posted and you comment to two of the groups. So this allows you to engage with all of the reading without doing all of the reading. You're working smarter, not harder. We'll talk more about that when we get to the assignments page, but I just want to put that on your radar. You are going to have to work in groups, and you're going to have to work in groups to get your reading done. You need to respond to your peers, and you need to be active in your group. You do receive a grade for, that's a part of your class participation grade. So just a heads up. And then there are two other quizzes that are around the reading and how you are responding to or understanding the concepts of the reading. So you definitely want to read those summaries provided by the other groups, because content from that reading is what the quiz is about. And then you have your intersectionality paper, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and your journals, which are spaces for you to be reflective about and apply some of the concepts that you're learning about to your own self-evaluation, and then evaluating these issues out in society, thinking specifically about what it means for you as a human service practitioner. Then you have a submersion paper, and your peers are going to grade you on your submersion paper. We'll talk about your submersion paper in a minute, and I'll show you the ways that the course is designed to really be very supportive of you having that experience, even in a COVID reality. And then, as I said, attendance and class participation is a part of your grade. So you definitely want to be active in your reading groups. You want to be active early in the requirements for your submersion papers. You want to complete your journals. All those things will ensure that you get the optimal number of points in this class. So as you see, the weeks are divided. The content is divided by the weeks of the module. So you have 8 modules that coincide with 8 weeks. You are each week responsible for watching something, reading something, completing a quiz or a journal entry, and then completing a discussion board. So week 1, you're watching probably this video as your course welcome, and the lecture components that are built into the course show, which I'll show you how to get to those in a second. You're completing your readings. The readings are either in the textbook, or they are linked in the course overview, which I'll show you in a sec. And then you're completing your quiz. Remember, the quiz for this week is about your syllabus and the Start Here menu inside of Canvas. You even have a technology assignment, which essentially is sending me an email inside of Canvas to just let me know that you know how that feature works, so that there are no excuses on responding to your peers when they're trying to reach out to you and connect around your reading. And then you do an intro for your very first discussion board. You'll see that my intro is already listed there for you. You can model yours after mine or do something slightly different. There are questions for you to respond to. Week 2, we start to get into the flow of the class. You have videos to watch, and then you have your reading according to your reading group. You'll either be assigned to reading group 1, 2, or 3. You and your peers will decide who reads what in that group. Everyone is responsible for writing a short summary of what they have read, and that summary is posted by a representative, well, by all the group members to the discussion board. You then are responsible for reading 2 different peers' posts and commenting on those. Reading summaries go up on discussion board posts by Thursday. Responses to your peers should happen no later than Saturday. And then you have your second quiz. Each quiz opens on Monday, closes on Thursday. They are timed. You only have 120 minutes to complete them. And once you start, you cannot stop. As I said, the quizzes are designed to ensure that you're reading. So you definitely want to complete your reading before you take that quiz. You have up until Thursday to complete that quiz. And by Thursday, you should have read all of your peers' responses. And that way you can move confidently to completing that quiz. The first journal entry isn't implicit association test. Nobody sees your journal entries but me. So this is a space for you to get reflective, be honest with yourself, because the goal really is for you to do some self-evaluation that will help you orient towards diversity, equity, inclusion, and social justice as a human being, but also as a practitioner. So know that the personal journals are only read by me, but it's really a conversation between you and yourself. Week 3, you see that you have another thing to watch. It is a recorded lecture. Then you have your group reading. You post to the discussion board, hopefully before Thursday, which gives you all the time that you need to respond to 2 peers, and then complete your second journal entry, which is a film critique of the film People Like Us. That link will take you right to it. You don't have to strive to find it on your own. Week 4, you are watching one of the TED Talks that are listed. You are completing the readings for that week, which for some reason are not posted to the syllabus, but we'll make sure we make that edit for you. They should be in the course shell. And then after you've done your reading, you post to the discussion board so that you can read the post by your other peers, because if you don't post, you can't see your peers post. After that, you can take your quiz. And then after your quiz, you complete your third personal journal on anti-racist policy analysis. Week 5, you're watching the recorded lecture. You're completing your reading for that week, the discussion board post, and completing your intersectionality paper. The week 6 is where you get a break. You've gone really hard and strong, learning the content, engaging with the content, completing reflection around the content. And this is where you get to start your work for your submersion paper. And also, if you got a grade on one of your journals that you're not satisfied with and you'd like to perhaps make some modifications based on the feedback to that journal, you can resubmit one of the personal journals, 1, 2, or 3 for a higher grade. And then there's also an extra credit opportunity. Those are listed later in the syllabus, so I'll walk through those in just a sec. Week 7, there are no new content offerings because you're supposed to be reviewing the content, the journals that are the essays that you've read from your textbook or any additional readings, and using those as well as outside sources to help you complete your paper for your submersion paper. This is also where you can perhaps be meeting with somebody from your submersion population. And then in week 8, you turn that in, and then you grade at least 2, perhaps 3 of your peers. So as you can see, the first 5 weeks is content heavy. You get to week 6, you're really focusing on your submersion experience. I'm trying to give you at least 2.5 weeks, because really that you can start as early as week 5 to complete that paper and have that experience in a COVID reality. I want you to do so as safely as possible, but as intentionally as possible. And giving you that 2-week window is not to give you space to write your paper at the last minute, but to give you the opportunity to join conversations with me if you have questions, to reach out to folks that you may not have had a intimate conversation with before to learn more, those types of things that will help inform your paper. So here are the submersion topics. You can pick one of these topics in week 5. You should definitely have that finalized by week 5, and then get started working on that topic. You'll see that there are hyperlinks, right? These hyperlinks take you to resources that help guide you as you work through this topic, and provide some insight around the topic in case you've not, engaged with that topic other than in the readings for this course. There's some additional things via these links that will help you get very familiar on these topics in the public conversation, and then you can do your submersion activities, which we'll talk about in a second. Here are some additional things that you'll find them also built into Canvas for you to access for just continued growth and education. These are topics that are at the center of our social and civic conversations that as a practitioner, you should be able to critically analyze, engage with, and speak to, as well as the reality of COVID and what we've experienced around conversations on race and racism since 2020. You probably already have a position on these things, but it's always important to be open to hearing the voices of the most marginalized and being able to sit in relationship to their lived experience. So this is available as additional content to support that. And then you have your extra credit topic. Each extra credit activity is partnered with an action. So you are not able to just do the extra credit and say you did it. You have to couple it with the action and then do a little write-up. So you get to the opportunity in week 6 to submit your extra credit or to choose your extra credit. And you can submit that up until the last day of class. And the activity and the action must be done together in order to receive full credit for that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your assignments. As I mentioned, you're a part of a reading group. Your reading group splits up the reading. In your reading group, you read and then you write a summary. Your group couples that summary together, and each individual posts that summary to the discussion board. And then you choose one reading from another member of each other reading group. So there are 3 reading groups total. Your group posts, you read a post from one member of reading group 2 and reading group 3, let's say if you're in reading group 1, that allows you to get summaries of all the readings and engage with all the content for this course, even though we're going really quickly, which should prepare you to take the quiz, right? Those posts, the group summaries that are compiled collectively and posted, everyone posts them. They're due every Thursday. And then by Saturday, you should have read your peers and responded to them. Again, this is set up to help you win because by Thursday, that's when you're completing your quiz around this content. So do yourself a favor, do your peers a favor. Don't wait until Thursday night, 11:59 to post your summary, because that's also when your quiz is due, right? Get those done up and early. And that way you have what you need in order to complete the quiz. Your personal journals, as I said, are you in conversation with yourself, and I am privy to them. So the expectation is that there are at least 150 words and that you use APA format, that you cite your sources, whether they are essays from your textbook or content that is listed in your course shell of Canvas. You use APA format to do that, right? And every single post should have citations. Those are due on Saturdays by 11:59. Your quizzes, again, they open on Monday, they close on Thursday. Your intersectionality paper is using the identity model, which will be an assigned reading, um, to examine yourself, right? And to think about your intersecting identities and how they came to be. Again, you're using APA format. There should be 3 to 5 pages, including your cover page. Each journal should also have a cover page, and your reference page. Each journal should also have a reference page. So you can complete that. And there's a rubric for you to review, both for discussion boards and for journals, alongside example rubrics for your intersectionality paper. Your submersion experience and peer grading. So you get to choose one of those submersion topics, right? And then you're going to have intentional conversations or be a part of intentional experiences that will help expand your perspective around that topic. It has to be a topic and an identity that is outside of your own. So if you identify as non-gender conforming, you will not choose the LGBTQ plus topic, right? You will choose another identity. If you are considered able-bodied, you might consider engaging with the identity, the conversation around folks with disabilities, right? You're choosing an identity that's outside of one that you hold in order to learn more about the lived experiences of individuals with those intersecting identities. You're going to learn about the policies, practices, and procedures that have provided support or perhaps barriers to folks living with those identities, and what it is to experience a liberatory consciousness, which means you're raising your awareness, you're engaging with analysis, you're involving yourself in some type of action, and then you're mindfully engaging with ways of being accountable around the lived experience of this population. And you're writing a paper about it, right? So 3 to 5 pages minimum, including your cover page and your reference page, right? There's some prompts and guides inside of the course shell to help you complete that. As I mentioned, these are things that you can also find in the course shell about no late work, about the classroom policies, the expectation for netiquette, right? Which forms of technology you should use, so on and so forth. Those are all available to you built into Course Plus. You also will find that there are sample rubrics, so you know exactly to evaluate you and to provide feedback. You'll know what your peers are using to evaluate you and provide feedback to you. And then after you move through the syllabus and your syllabus contract and your code of academic integrity form, you'll complete those and turn those in to the course shell. So now that we've gone through the entire syllabus, I want to take us back into the course shell just so you can take a look at how it's set up and ensure that you are comfortable with the course shell and can access everything with ease. All right, so here we are back at the homepage. We're going to click into modules. Modules will allow us to see all of the weekly course content offerings. Discussions will take us straight to the discussions page, assignments to the assignments page, quizzes to the quizzes page, and grades will allow you to see all of your assignments, all of your submissions, and all of your grades, including the ability, it gives you the ability to click back into a submission and read any feedback and comments on your submitted work. So just a note, that is definitely something you're going to want to do. And then people will show you your reading groups. We'll cover that in just a minute. First, I want to show you the modules. So each module is laid out here. And I'm noticing that your module course introduction is grayed out. Why is it grayed out? It's because you haven't gone through all of the pages that preceded, right? So here, you have to start with the start here section before you can move to the next element, the next module for review. Once you've moved through here, there's our little Zoom meeting. It's at 7:30, but I started at 7. This is recorded, so that works out for everybody. Once you have moved through all the pages of that first part, you'll see that this is no longer grayed, right? So now you can access that and you can click into the next group of pages. You'll see that this information looks very similar to your syllabus. That is on purpose. We want to make sure that you see and understand and can move through this content. Again, clicking next is required to indicate that you have looked at all these pages. If you do not click next and just attempt to go to the next module, you'll notice that it will be grayed out like the previous one. Why? Because here there is a prerequisite. The prerequisite for this section is this section. The prerequisite for this section is this section, right? So you're going to definitely want to follow these pages in order by using that next button to make sure that you can get into the next module. If you skip any pages, you may be locked out of the module. So with that being said, I want us to get into the very first week. You'll see that each module starts with an overview and instructions page. So you're very clear what the overview is for the week, what the instructions are for the week, what you're supposed to read, and what is due. You then can move through the various pages, right? Here's your required learning materials. There is the breakout of reading by reading groups. As you see here, if this is not within the text, right? So this is provided if you click on it, it should download. And then here are the lecture materials for the week. You also will find the optional materials listed for you here, just like they're available in your syllabus. They are connected to the content for the week. And then when you move to the next page, you'll get into your assignments, right? So you want to make sure that you're submitting your assignments, because again, if you are skipping over any of these, including the content pages, it won't let you into the next module. That's how all of your modules are designed. You will always have a course overview. You will always have required learning materials. You will always have optional materials, and then you'll always have your weekly list of assignments. The very last page for each module was a reminder. Did you complete these items that are due? The reading and discussion board post, that's due by Thursday. The technology assignment, this quiz, the introduction, the code of academic integrity, that is due by Saturday. So there really is no excuse for not knowing what's due and when it's due. There are lots of reminders built in at the beginning of the week and at the end of the week. So that is your modules. Let's talk a little bit about your discussion boards. As I said, all discussion boards are connected to your readings. Your discussion boards will be built into the module, so you won't necessarily have to navigate there through this button, but it is really nice to have it as a shortcut. Same for your assignments. So you'll find, here you go, your discussion pages, and you can view the discussion by week. I list for you 2 weeks at a time. So you'll be able to see all of week 1 and all of week 2. Remember, you can't navigate to the content in week 2 until you've completed the content for week 1. You can't navigate through the content for week 1 until you've completed the start here content. So it is designed to go in order to ensure that on your self-guided journey, you don't get lost. This is the way that I've ensured that you have lots of support and can get through this in a timely manner. Now, this Q&A discussion forum is really for you to have a conversation with your peers. If there are things that you have learned that you think are interesting, like TV shows you watched or podcasts, you can post those there. That's, the social capital board is where you can post those. And then if you have any questions like, hey, did folks make it to the last content session? Or can anybody tell me how to get to the peer review form? You can ask those of each other. And ultimately, this allows you guys to be in continued communication with each other outside of your assignments. So I definitely would like for that resource to point that resource out so that you can help each other, support each other, be in contact with each other. And then I want, again, a social capital discussion board to be a place where, again, you share resources and you can discuss with each other some of the things that you're finding or reading or coming across. The very next thing for us to look at are your quizzes. So again, quizzes are made available to you as early as Monday, but they close on Thursday. This is to just help give you some support and move you towards completion of those reading summaries and posting those and then responding to your peers. And the quizzes, the very first quiz you'll find, again, is over the syllabus. The second quiz starts to get into the content area. And then the next quiz will be posted the following Monday. As I said, the grades are not only the space where you can see which assignments are due and when, you can see what your score is, you can see what the total number of points are. When your assignments are graded, you can click back into this link after you've submitted to see any feedback or comments that are left for you to really help strengthen your continued learning, your writing, or if in the case that you want to make up one of those personal journals, it'll give you some tips around how to do that. People. So here's where you can see if you are, which reading group you're in, right? So each of you is added to a reading group and you'll only see one group, but the groups are divided in such a way that you can reach out to each other. You know exactly who's in your group. You can send a message to your group here. You can see who's the lead. Like I identified a person to be your lead point of contact. So that way, you know, at least one person should email the group and kind of get you all on a meeting schedule so that you can identify one who's going to read what each week and put all the summaries together and just really be in contact about discussing the readings for that week so that you can have kind of a coherent voice when you submit your summary. Okay, that is an overview of the course. I hope that this was helpful. I look forward again to getting to know each of you through your work, but also in the spaces where you join office hours or one of the content discussion sessions on a Thursday night. I'm going to stop sharing the screen just to give you a little view of my face as I'm doing this send off. As I said, this will be posted to the announcements. Any future spaces that I record where we're discussing the content will also be posted to the announcement. Should you have any questions, you can send me a Canvas inbox or you can text me during the day. If you're trying to get in touch with me, that's really the fastest way to text. You can also use the text number provided in the syllabus to set up an appointment if you want to have a meeting on a Monday night during office hours. I recognize you're probably taking other courses. And again, there's competing time slots. So if Monday doesn't work for you, you also have Thursday. And I look forward to being a part of your learning. So take good care, stay safe, and I'll be seeing you in Canvas. Bye, everyone.